everybody. I thought I would just sit and chat with y'all for a little while. Kind of update you and get you caught up on things that I've had to do and been doing in the past before I started back making my videos. Okay, alright, today is Wednesday. It's the month of August. It's the year 2017. I don't remember what date it is. I forgot to look. But that really don't matter. I'm here at the house by myself. I don't have Gracie today. Marcus is off, so Gracie and Mama's hanging out with Daddy today. Albert's at work. And to be honest, I'm not sure if Elizabeth's at work or not. She's not here. She's gone. But I don't think she's at work. Because when I first got up and was in the bathroom, alright, when Albert got up and got ready to leave, I heard Elizabeth, and you watch somebody drive up out there, just as I'm starting my video. When Albert got up and got ready to go to work, I heard him talking to Elizabeth, and I think she was up in the bathroom, and she must have left then, because see, Albert leaves and goes to work. It wakes me up. I hear him getting up and getting around and going, and he tells me bye and all that, but then I just keep laying there and I fall back to sleep, doze back off for a little bit. So when I woke back up and went into the bathroom, then I heard the door shut and Elizabeth go into her room and do something, and then I heard it shut again before I got out of there. So she must have popped in and got something and left again. So I don't know if she's at work. If she was at work, I don't think she could have done that. So I'm thinking she's like off work, but gone somewhere doing something, you know. She may be over at Katie and M's with them or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'm here by myself, so it's a good chance to do a video. Alright, I wanted to talk to y'all. Remember I told y'all I had to go into the hospital for a couple of days? I can do this without yawning. I wanted to talk to y'all about why and explain it all to y'all, just to update you on me there. I'm looking outside. Butch is outside. We've got to where we let him out. He has run off in the past, and he will go, you know, further in the neighborhood and stay gone a while, but we got to where we let him out and let him do that, and then he comes back and we let him in, so I'm wondering if he's coming back to come in. Anyway, so what was I saying? Now I'm gonna forget. Why I had to go in the hospital. Okay. What happened is, one day, now I don't remember dates. Now on some of it I remember days, like if it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or whatever like that, but I don't remember dates. And it obviously had to have happened in July, right? Yeah, because this is the very beginning of August. So anyway, one day I was washing my hands in the bathroom sink. And I'm weird. I have a routine of how I wash my hands. I do it a certain way, rubbing my hands a certain way. And then I do this number and this number, and then I go down each finger and all of that and do something like this. Okay. When I did that, rinsing the soap, or doing the soap in, and then rinsing my hands under the water like this, it kind of bent and twisted my little pinky in a certain way. I felt it. It hurt. Okay? After that, the knuckle here on my little pinky was really sore, and I couldn't hardly, you know, bend it or use it in my normal way that I do. And I even commented, it had kind of swollen up, and it even, like right now, it looks like it has a knot. But in a way, that could be the way my finger is made. The knot may be a little bit bigger, but it looks like there's a little knot there. But when it bent and hurt when I was washing my hands, it felt like it broke. And it swelled up and turned red and kind of bruised looking a little bit, not a whole lot. And I remember showing it to Albert and Elizabeth. And Elizabeth looked at it. Albert didn't really look at it very well. He don't care. But anyway, it's a whole nother story. Anyway, Elizabeth looked at it. And she could tell something was wrong with it. And she said, well, I guess you just kind of sprung it or bent it in the wrong way. And she said, or stumped it or something. And I guess that's what happened while I was in the water. But when you're young, things like this don't happen so easy and simple. You get older, and stupid stuff like this starts happening. Why, people? Just tell me why. I hate it. Alright, so my pinky hurt for a few days, like that. And even before that, I'm going to go back even further. And I'm going to say this has happened since my Gracie and them moved here. And I started keeping her and been having to pick her up. I have felt pain, let me get in view, in my arms through here. Both of them. And they would hurt so bad. Sometimes they would feel like they're going to break. The bone was going to break there. And then the pinky thing happened. Well, from the pinky thing, it kind of went on, and then I started feeling a little pain through these other fingers here. Now, it's my right hand, and I'm right-handed. I do everything with my right hand. I write with it. I eat with it. I reach and turn doorknobs with it. I open bottles with this hand. But anyway, you know what I mean. I do most everything with my right hand. Okay. So the pain started coming up in these other fingers. Alright. Then, I don't remember what days those happened. But, when this finger actually started, the first one, I guess they call it the index finger, the one that the infection was in, that I ended up in the hospital with and for, when it started a little bit of hurting, and it wasn't too many days after this had happened. So I don't know if it's all connected or not, but I kind of feel like it is, you know. But anyway, so this one started hurting a little bit on a Saturday. Alright, the very next day, Sunday, it had swollen up real big and started turning bruised looking, purplish bruised looking like it does. And it hurt. It was so sore, I couldn't hardly do anything with it. Alright, the whole week almost went by with me suffering with my finger like that. That was a Sunday. So here comes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. All of these days I was in pain with this. And each day that went by, my finger swelled up bigger, got darker, purplisher, blacker, bruised looking. And my finger, I could barely do that with that finger, moving it, okay? And basically, the swelling had even moved up into this part right here, kind of, you know, at the bottom of this finger and this, at the bottom, because this was the finger that was swollen. So the swelling had come down in here, all around in this area right here. It had swelled up, it was red, it was sore to the touch. My hand was basically froze in this position, because this finger was swollen and sore and hurting and I could barely move it, and this was swollen up and it was sore here. I mean, it started even getting, all of that was so sore and swollen and big. My hand was just in this position. I couldn't move it. I couldn't do this. I couldn't even do this because these fingers were feeling the soreness, you know. And when I get something like that, like I've said a million times, I'm a big baby. I can't handle pain. I can't stand it. So I don't move it. And I know you should keep moving it and working it, but I can't. It hurts, and I stop. So anyway, that went on like that. I was a baby. I cried with it. I was in pain. I suffered. Alright. We don't have insurance. We don't have a lot of money. My husband, whole nother story. I'm not going to get on it. I'm just going to say he is unlike any other man, husband, person on this earth. Totally different. One penny is high to him. He don't like spending no money, not even when it comes to your health. He don't care. That's all I'm saying. Everything's fine. Okay. Where was I going? What was I going to say? So, he didn't want to... My hand looks red. Might still be a little red. I don't know. It does still hurt a little bit. See how that thumb and this go the right way, Sherry. This finger looks red. It looks red right there, and looks red right there, and looks red right there. That's weird. Maybe even a little bit red through here. Huh. Anyway, of course now those fingers look red. It may just be the way it looks. I don't know. Anyway, I know I'm wasting time here. Okay, so I was in pain. I cried. I suffered all them days. Albert didn't want to take me to the doctor. He didn't really think anything bad was wrong with me. I was at first thinking, I have broke my finger. I mean, look how big and swollen it is, and I can't move the thing. I really at first thought I'd broke my finger. But, you know, Albert, no, you didn't break it. You just bumped it, stomped it, bruised it, you know, a little bit. It'll go away. Yeah. Anyway. But I was in pain. So, I finally, Monday, I called my doctor to see if I could get an appointment. Well, I couldn't get an appointment that day. They were filled up. They're so weird and so odd. But I could not get an appointment ahead of time either. I mean, they told me what their next day was that they had available, and it was Thursday. And they even told me they had two different time slots that day. One at 10 something in the morning and one later on after lunchtime in the evening. So I was wanting to go ahead and set my appointment for Thursday at 10 something because I wanted the earliest one possible. The sooner the better, you know. But anyway, but she wouldn't let me. Y'all, hang on, I gotta clear my throat. She wouldn't let me set that appointment. So she said, we can't do it like that. You have to call on that morning. First thing, as soon as we open up, 8 o'clock, call me. And if that time slot is still open. She even said that. And I was even thinking, if nobody can set this appointment until they call that morning, you know, how's it going to not be opened? Unless she's talking about whoever's first calls on that day. It's all weird. But anyway, so she said you have to call that morning and get it set. It's so stupid to me. I mean, used to, you could get an appointment set way ahead of time and not just on that day you call. Anyway. So I had to wait. So finally Thursday come and I called them and I got the appointment. So Albert took me and it was my doctor and it's in the little, you know, like I said, we don't have insurance and we don't have a lot of money, so it's a sliding scale type doctor's office thing. You know, they're helping me out with that. Help me out with a lot of my medicines and stuff. So anyway, and they don't have, because they're like that, they don't have x-ray machine. They have to send you somewhere else to do it. And because they're the helping thing like that, they send you to either Chalmette or Bogalusa, to this other big hospital that helps people that don't have insurance and a lot of money. And so she looked at it, and she was saying that she didn't think it was broke, that what it looked like to her, that I had infection in it. And she said it looked like it was in the knuckle, and she said that is bad for the knuckle, that it could, if I didn't get it tended to, I would need antibiotic, but I would need to go in the hospital to have the antibiotic that way through IV. I think I said that right. She said if I didn't hurry up and get something done, that I could lose my finger. That scared me to death. So I had went into the office to see her by myself. Albert was in the waiting room. I had her go get him and tell him. I was also thinking, oh Lord, you know, go in the hospital. He's not going to hear this. It's more money. Oh Lord. So I wanted her to tell him. I didn't want to walk out and tell him. You know, I wanted him to hear it from the doctor. So she went and got him and brought him in there. She explained to him about the finger. He said, okay. So we left there, and we had to go to Bogalusa, to that hospital. But it was already late in the evening, okay? So by the time we got there, the hospital was actually closed, so I couldn't get an x-ray there like she had first sent me for. So they sent us into that hospital's emergency room, which means a lot of money. And yeah, Albert worried about that and complained about that a lot. And me in pain, didn't care. Anyway, so went into that emergency room, and it took a little while, but finally we got back there and they checked it, and they said the same thing. They didn't even do an x-ray. They said it is infection, and I needed to go into the hospital and get antibiotic through IV, or I could lose my finger. So the help situation, when they realized we lived in Picayune, Mississippi, they couldn't help us anymore. So, and they didn't have a bone doctor. I don't know how to say the professional name for the bone doctor, but it was a bone doctor I needed. They didn't have one there at that hospital. So they called around to find a hospital. They found one in Slidell, which was, you know, close to us, that had one and that had a room and would take me. And they transferred me in an ambulance. So they went ahead and hooked me up to IV. The ambulance came. You know, we was in the car, so Albert had to drive the car home. And he got some things from the house. And they put me in an ambulance. It was a man driver, and then there was a lady in the back with me. Neither one of them was very nice. It was a horrible ambulance ride. I never want to go in an ambulance again if I can help it. The man and the lady, I'm going to call it, you know, like you say with doctors and stuff, that they have very bad bedside manners. They were not nice people at all. They were not kind. They were not polite. They were rude. They acted like they could care less how I felt. I was in pain. I was crying. I was in the ambulance by myself with these strangers. No family, no friends that I knew. That they had me in, I was propped up in a sitting up position. And when they put me up in there, I was very uncomfortable, my back. And I kind of wanted to be laid back a little bit more. I asked her if she could lay the bed back. She just said, and she didn't even bother to do it in a nice way and try to console me about it, comfort me, make me feel better. She just said, nope, this bed, that's as far as it'll go. It won't go no more. You know, all rude like and could care less like, you know. Then I said, well, do you have a pillow? Nope, we don't have any pillows in here, you know, because I was asking if there was a pillow I could prop my head on to help things better. All right, the bed was right up beside some shelves. I don't imagine it was glass, but it was like cubby holes that things were in, and it had like plastic doors over it, but you could see through in there. But it was right against, so my arm and elbow over here was bumping against that. It was a very bumpy ride. She was not polite at all. She didn't bother to talk to me just to, you know, for conversation, so it wouldn't be so quiet in there, or to comfort me and make me feel better. She sat down over there, she did her paperwork, and then when she got through with her paperwork, she sat back in a chair and she did something on her phone for a while. I could actually, the back windows, there was no curtains or nothing, but it was dark. I could even see some lights outside of like the cars, but I couldn't really just see the cars outside and really what it looked outside the back window. But I could see her reflection. She was behind me. I was facing the back door. She was behind me, and I could see her reflection in the window, and I could see her doing her paperwork, and then I could see her working on her phone, you know, doing something on her phone. And then I seen her lay back, you know, and just sit there and close her eyes. Didn't bother to talk to me, didn't bother to comfort me one bit. That was a horrible ambulance ride. I don't ever want to ride in another ambulance again. But anyway, so they finally got me to the emergency room at the Slidell Hospital called Ochsner. It's an Ochsner hospital in Slidell, Louisiana. And I went in through the emergency room first, and they got me in a room. Now, the people there, they were so nice, kind, and polite. I loved them. But they got me set up in the bed, and what long Albert came in, you know, and then they sent me down to a room and got me set up in a room, and I had an IV, and they was giving me antibiotic through an IV. Now that was Thursday, late Thursday night. By the time we got there, it was late Thursday night, early Friday morning. So I spent that Thursday night in the hospital, and the next day, Friday, all day. Now the meals, I loved the meals. The meals was good. You know, one night I had, I had good breakfast, just eggs and grits one time. And they, you know, it's not, here, it's like we eat one item, a meal. We don't eat all the different things you're supposed to. Sometimes, yeah, we have one or two things, but it's always the same old stuff. And it's always stuff that I'm sick of and tired of. And they had, I mean, this was a lot of items on every meal, and honey, I ate every bit of it, and I got full, and I loved it. It was good food. One time it was what is meatloaf? I kept trying to think of that. Meatloaf and cream potatoes, and oh, I was in hog heaven with the food. Albert stayed with me in the hospital. So Friday all day. Friday night, I think they had like a youth service, and Katie and them went to that, and Elizabeth. But after that was over, they came by the hospital, you know, and seen me, and Gracie got up on the bed with me, and I played with her. I rode the bed, you know, I did the foot and the head up and down while she was up on the bed with me, and played with her with that, you know, and so we enjoyed that. Then they left, so I was in the hospital with that Friday night. Now come Saturday morning, I got up, and then the doctor came, you know, and checked it out. Which, when he came, because we was waiting for him to come Friday to even see what the ordeal was, they was all saying that I might need surgery. This was before I'd seen the doctor. Got in there late Thursday night, early Friday morning. So Friday morning when he came by, and it wasn't morning, it was really actually later in the day. He was late. It was supposed to be morning, but he was late. He had a lot of surgeries he had to do. But I really liked him too. Actually, that night, Thursday night, when I got into the Slidell emergency room, I commented one of those nurses there that was helping me and putting, fixing me up and taking blood, and I never did even feel. When she took that blood, I never did, and usually, and that's the first time, I believe, that I've ever not felt it. I've always felt some kind of little prick, but I mean, I didn't feel nothing when she took that blood, and they took a lot of blood from me. Most blood I've ever had taken from me at one time. I was kind of a little worried about it, but I never did feel, dizzy or weak or nothing like that. But anyway, so it was like 5 of those little jars filled up with my blood, and at the most, I've done 2, maybe 3, I don't know. So anyways, I'm a baby, I worry about everything. Anyway, so this video is long. We're 5 minutes into the second 20-minute session, so it's 25 minutes now. Alright, so, but I complimented her in the ER. I said, I just have to tell you that I really like you. You are so nice. I have to compliment you. Because not everybody, and I did like that because, trust me, not everybody is kind and nice and polite. So, she thanked me. And then also the doctor, when he came Friday and checked my finger, because by then I had had a lot of antibiotic in the IV, and I was able to move. When I went in, I could barely do this with my finger, okay? I was doing this when he came Friday. I was moving it. And I told him, as soon as he walked in the door, I didn't even give him a chance to say anything. He walks up to me, and, which he told who he was, and I said, hey. And I done like this. I said, when I came in, I held my hand up like this. I said, when I came in, I could barely do this. Now I can do this. He said, okay. He said, you're fine. You don't need surgery. He said, as soon as you showed me that and told me that, I knew you didn't need surgery. And I was so thankful that I didn't need surgery. So anyway, he said that's what it was. It was infection. He explained it to us. Because Albert was wanting it. Oh, by the way, at the time he came in, Albert's cousin Roy was there. He had dropped in to see me. And he was also confused and wondering about the finger thing and why you had to go. Albert and them kept... I knew, I understood. When my doctor told me that it was infection and that I could lose my finger, I understood it. My husband, like I said, number one, it's all about money. Too much money, too cheap, don't want to pay it. Just a finger. Just a finger. Not even broke. Why do you have to go in the hospital over a finger? My brain understood it. His didn't. So, and Roy was not understanding it. So they wanted the doctor to explain, but he did, and he was nice and kind about it, the doctor did. So he explained about all the workings in our hands. I'm not going to remember all the big words he said. I know he said tendons. But he says, all these tendons and things that are in here running up and down through your fingers, in your hand, and even going up your arm, that there is a soft tissue that's around those tendons that actually stays moist and helps you to be able to bend your fingers and work on better. So he said that moist thing around my finger here is what had got infected, and that was kind of drying it out, so it was keeping me from using it very good, and that it was infected, but that everything was okay. It was not a real bad case. He has seen a lot of cases, and when he said that, Albert said, so you have seen this before and had this before? And the doctor said, oh yeah, it's been a lot worse before. I've had to do surgery and blah, 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 blah. That made, Albert kept saying, okay, that makes sense then. He said, I was just wondering, why in the world you got to go in the hospital for just a finger, but the doctor explained it, so he understood it then. Anyway, so he said, but you're fine, you don't need surgery, but I want you to stay in here another night, get some more antibiotics in there, and then I'll send you home with a bottle of antibiotic pills to take. So, and he said, and you take all of them and you'll be fine. So, and then he told me you do a follow-up with your doctor. Okay, excuse me. As soon as he got through, said all that, I said, Doc, I gotta give you a compliment. I said, I like you. You're nice, you're kind, you're polite, you explained all this real good in a way, nice and kind, and that I understood, you didn't mind. And he said, what can I say? I love my job, you know, and stuff like that. So I really liked him. So then he left. Well, that was Friday. Okay, I stayed all day Friday and Friday night in the hospital. Saturday morning got up, and then they discharged me Saturday morning, and I came home. Well, you know, it had been a lot better, but it was still, you know, I still couldn't use it. Yeah, they told me not to lift anything heavy. Told me not to lift the baby. That's hard. Tried not to, but it's still hard. But anyway, and not to use it. And I mean, I couldn't even using it. Now I can. And it's still a little tender in touches and a little sore. I'm rubbing the... Okay, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm seeing my thumb. It's this finger that was hurt. Not this finger, but this finger. So in here, when I would try to use that finger, you know, my water flavorings, even to tear that water flavoring open, it's even now tender and touches. So I was doing this, and my long pills that I can't swallow and would break up, I would normally break it using these, but I've been trying to break it using this finger, and that's hard too. And it makes this one bend, and it would still hurt that at first, you know. So it's still a little touches, but I am able to use it more. And so I'm taking the antibiotic he gave me, still on down there, and I ain't took them all yet. Take them every 6 hours when I can remember, and that's another thing. It's hard for me to remember to do that. But anyway, so that's my finger situation. So I'm doing better with that, and I just wanted to update y'all and tell y'all on all about that. And this video, it's a 20-minute video, then it started another one, and we're 11:30 something into that. So it's a long video. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I do want to mention this real quick before I go off. I guess YouTube is still acting up. I'm not getting all of my comments under my videos. Are y'all still doing that and having that problem? It's not coming to my email. I'm having to go in there under the video and see it and check it, and that's aggravating me. Let me know if y'all still having that problem and if YouTube's still acting up that way. Another thing, when I do get an email or a comment in my email box, even like, say if I watch somebody else's video and I leave a comment under their video and then they answer me back and I get that in my email, when I open it up, normally used to, the name of their video or channel or whatever that is up there on top would be clickable, and I could click on that, not the reply button underneath. I could click on that to go into their video to reply back to their comment that I had left under their video. It's showing black and it's not clickable. I don't like that. Is y'all's doing that? How can I fix that? Why is it doing that? It wasn't doing that before I stopped making videos. I don't like going down to the reply button. I have to click there to go in and answer, and I don't like doing it that way. I wanted to click on the name up there. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. Another thing, y'all get ready, because I got a giveaway coming up. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good, fun giveaway. It's not a challenge. It's a giveaway. But in a way, it kind of is a challenge, maybe a little bit. But not really. Because you get to choose what you want to do. If you choose making something, then it might be a challenge, considered a challenge. But I'm not going to call it a challenge. You get to choose what you want to do. So I'm just calling it a giveaway. And it's going to be fun. So I wanted to give y'all a heads up on that. I hope everybody will participate. I'm going to be very disappointed, especially since I'm just coming back after, you know, being AWOL for 2 months. I really hope a lot of people will join my giveaway. Please, please, please. Tell your family and your friends, you know, all of your subbies, send them to my channel to subscribe to me, because you have to be subscribed to me to do this giveaway and to do my giveaway. So I wanted to let y'all know. It's going to be a while because I got a few more videos ahead of it that I'm going to do. The next one is going to be another chat video. I'm going to talk to y'all about my neighbor across the road, Stephanie, that I've met and had over for lunch. And I'm going to talk to you about my book club at the library that I'm going to. So the next video is another chat video coming up. Be ready. Alright, I'm out of here until next time. I'm done. I'm gone. Toodaloo.